This is the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast with your host, Kevin Murray.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast. I'm excited to welcome back an official friend of the show with his second appearance. He's an all-time fantasy football legend, both on and off the field. It's the one and only Austin Ekeler. Good to see you, Austin.
Yeah, good to have me back on. Looking forward to it. Hope all has been well. Before we get into it, did you win any fantasy leagues this year or what?
Yeah, it was a rough one. There was a theme this year with injuries. I understand you can relate to some of that, right? But it was a rough one, but it was a fun one. I think that if you put a lot into your fantasy league as a commissioner, you make it fun, you can get a lot out of the game without having to win a championship. Although that's
true.
Goal.
As long as you don't get last, you'll probably be all right, because the last place punishments are brutal.
We don't need any of that stuff, and I avoided all of that. So I had some bad luck here and there. I had some some number one seeds that went down, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Love this game.
Yep.
So how are you? Obviously, it's been an interesting season for you.
Yeah, after tearing my Achilles week 2, kind of my shift has been more so towards getting my body back upright. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm moving around, got a lot of strength back in that. So looking forward to really pushing everything I can out of this recovery, and then kind of seeing where my body's at after that, and going to free agency, hoping to land a spot if my body's feeling good. If not, there's other things that I can go and do as well.
I love it. Now, it's obviously great to hear. The reality of sports injuries can be cruel, but resilience has always been a part of your story. Wishing you obviously the very best in days ahead. Now, last August, we talked about charity draft. How did that go? And again, how was your fantasy season?
Yeah, so I had one fantasy team, and again, I had Jaden Daniels and myself on it. So I always get myself if I can, but then I was like, the other second person I try to get is my quarterback, because I can affect them if I score touchdowns for them. So It's a little stack action for me. And both of us went out, so it was pretty much a disaster. But with charity draft, we had over 20 leagues or 20 athletes involved, which led to a bunch of leagues going on. So it was definitely a fun time for everyone involved in that. We had a bunch of challenges and stuff like that throughout each week to keep people engaged, even if you weren't doing very well. So it was a really fun project that we did to help raise money for those guys' charities.
I love it. Now, that's the kind of stuff that you're obviously up to a lot. We're going to talk about some of that stuff today. But I'd say the sudden end of a fantasy football season for fantasy enthusiasts and players, it can be pretty dramatic. It just shuts off, right? We're so programmed to search the waiver wire and set lineups each and every week, but that changes when the fantasy season ends. That's why I always encourage people to look into playoff formats and do something to kind of ease the transition into the off season. Obviously, stuff you're up to is pretty cool. So let's get into that. It fits with, obviously that idea kind of fits with that. Talk about Fantasy Royale. What is it and what inspired you to create it?
Yeah, so Fantasy Royale is my newest project. And when I say new, I started at the beginning of this year's NFL season. And it is a free-to-play contest platform. And the reason I'm doing this is because I get a lot of people talking to me about how I lost money for them, or I need one more yard from you. And so people get so emotionally attached to this stuff. They're really passionate about it, which is a good thing. But I'm like, man, you guys are losing money doing this. Let me start a free-to-play contest place where you can go still have that same passion, but save your money. So, for instance, we ran a touchdown survivor challenge this year for a free grill. We had a Homage, which is an apparel store, NFL apparel, doing a weekly pick'em with us. So it's all free because brands will come and they want you to see their stuff. So they'll like, hey, we'll give you the stuff. You just go put on the competition. And so that's what we're doing right now. And leading that into the playoffs right now, we're doing a kind of the biggest tournament we've ever done, which will be a bracket challenge. So think of basketball bracket. You could come here with NFL, fill out your bracket. And then we have a bunch of different prizes that are up for grabs, including a $10,000 grand prize for the best overall bracket. So trying to get some of this, betting out of people's systems when it comes to their money. You can still go, but come do it for free at Fantasy Royale is what we say.
I love it. Now we'll get into that for sure. Now, obviously, this is fan-driven engagement. Why is that so important? And you mentioned the free contest. I love the way that you apply that. But why is that such a big, important vision of yours?
Yeah. So for me,
Royale?
the fan engagement kind of aspect of why like all my projects are pretty much fan engagement. Like you think of the charity draft, I'm talking about Fantasy Royale right now. I've had a stream in the past, podcast, things like that, because there's so much passion and so much good that comes together from football. And when people come together around the sport, that I wanted to contribute to that in my own way from a unique perspective as a player. And, you have a lot of people that, or a lot of companies that are also getting involved in that. And so that's great. So I was like, okay, maybe this is an opportunity for me to kind of give a healthy option instead of the sports betting world. Like fantasy football, I think is one of the healthiest. Yeah, even though you can put money on it, but it's not like a parlay type thing. So I was wanting to positively contribute to the fantasy and the sports fandom out there.
It's awesome. And you've done multiple games, as you mentioned, but this playoff bracket royale, how does it work? How does the game?
Yeah, so I'm super
work?
excited about how kind of we've set this up because it's kind of unique. So we have 8 brands that have donated prizes for us, big prizes. I'm talking like, a bundle of basically apparel from Homage, like a $16,000 massage chair from Infinity Dynasty 4D massage chairs, Amberjack, right? We have food, new golf clubs, a year's supply of protein snacks. So we have all of these big prizes. Each of those have their own contest. So if I want to go win the golf clubs, I would go into the Pins and Aces. I sign up. That entry into the Pins and Aces also puts that bracket on the leaderboard for the $10,000 grand prize. So you can go enter in all of the different brands that you want to win their prize. And each one of those that you do, another entry into the grand prize. So it's fun because you can still win some of these other prizes as well as try to go for the big one. So it gives you some variety to be able to have different brackets so they're not all the same. So it's not like a one and done. So you can maybe have a good one over here, or maybe this one's doing bad, or kind of have some fun throughout the playoffs.
I love it. Well, your focus obviously on community is admirable. Connecting fans and athletes and brands it's always a win-win. So, talking about these partnerships for brands in the future that want to get involved with Fantasy Royale, how do they do that?
Yeah, it's extremely popular when you talk about sports contests, whether it's the betting, whether it's fantasy football, whether it's what we're doing. So these are high volume activities that people love to be involved in. For instance, there was 12,000 people that entered in our touchdown survival, our season-long touchdown survival, which you have to have pick 3 players. If one of those players scores a touchdown, you move on to the next week. If they don't, you're out. You can't use the same player more than once, things like that. So it's a perfect opportunity to get people excited. And then that was for a free grill. So we have 12,000 people looking to play they want to win this grill. Really, they want to win the contest, but then the grill is like the cherry on top. So for 4 months straight, people were seeing, I'm going to try to win this grill, try to win this grill, try to win this grill. So it's a great opportunity to leverage people's excitement to get your brand in front of people, so they can become more familiar with what you have going on with your company.
It's amazing. Yeah, obviously athlete-led digital sports competitions it's on the rise. It might be the future. What are your thoughts on that?
It's tough. It is tough. I've been doing these community type events. I used to run bingo nights for my signed jersey, free poker nights for my signed jersey. I had, like I mentioned, a stream back in the day. So I've been in this space for a long time. And just like any career, you have to have the want to. You have to have kind of the diligence to stay with it, because it's going to be up and down. It takes a long time to build communities, even though the NFL and sports has a big community. To basically section off some of that is tough. So if we see more of it, I think it's more unique coming from a player, because it's something that's a little bit more exciting than like a Yahoo Sports that's over here doing a fantasy. That's cool, but Austin or other player doing something is a little bit different. You don't really see it very often, so at least get some attraction from that. So I hope to see more of it, because we have unique perspective. But again, you got to be built for it, just like anything.
Well, you have such a creative mind with all this stuff. It's exciting to see, where you've taken it and where you're going. What are your big plans for 2026 with all this stuff?
Yeah, plans are to continue and build on what we're doing. Would love to have an app for people. That's one of the biggest things we get. Hey, is there an app for this? So we can start giving badges. People can start keeping track of more of their picks and things like that with notifications. And we'll continue to do this year round. So we'll hit up basketball, football, baseball, hockey, all of the sports, golf. We want to become one of the big people in the market that are offering an alternative to the pay to win. This is play to win. No pay. Save your money. Come play free with us. It's a different type of price structure because you leverage the brands that will be paying to have the advertising. But we're really focused on making it so that fans can still feel that feeling of competition and feel that equity in that team that they have no reason to cheer for, but now there's something on the line with a free version as well, instead of having to lose your money because we work too hard for your money. Everything's getting more expensive. Stop wasting your money and giving it to DraftKings and these other sports books and stuff like that is what I'm saying.
It was a brilliant idea. I think that, connecting brands or bringing brands involved here, having mini contests, it just makes a lot of sense. I hope this, picks up a ton of traction because I think it's a fun way to experience sports. I mean, obviously that's why people love fantasy sports so much, because they get to kind of be a part of the action and part of the game that they love. And in mini contests, it's a brilliant way to do it. So I think it's very exciting. I love hearing about everything that you're doing. Your entrepreneurial spirit is incredible, and the fantasy sports community is so lucky to have you as an ambassador. Obviously, can't let you go without talking about a little NFL here. We got playoffs upon us. What are some of your predictions heading into this playoff? I would say a lot of NFL seasons they're more predictable than others. This one's wild. What are your thoughts?
I love this year's playoffs because I have no expectations. Like there's no Chiefs in it where you're like, I'm expecting them to get to the Super Bowl. We have obviously the Eagles that are still in it, which they're a division rival. So now I hope they lose, immediately. But there's no expectations. And I love that because I'm at a place where I'm going to be wowed for whatever happens, because every storyline that you can see here, maybe besides the Eagles, is a wow moment because there's so many new faces in there. And maybe, you have the Rams who won a few years back, but for the most part, this is a playoffs that I'm looking forward just to watching and enjoying. I would love the Chargers to get a playoff win. Shout out to my old squad. Kind of get over the hump. It's been too long. They're due. They have the Patriots, so it's not going to be an easy feat. Patriots have been playing well. And so I'm looking forward to, like I said, some competitiveness, but I don't know who I'm going with. For me, it's tough as a current player because I'm like, I hope they all lose. A little part of me because I'm not there. So yes, I am jealous 100%. Our season didn't go how we wanted it to be. So, shout out to these guys for getting into it, but I'm rooting for the Chargers to pull through just because that's the old stomping grounds and I got to stay where my roots were at.
Okay. How about on the NFC side? Who do you think is going to get through there?
NFC. I mean, the heavy favorite obviously is, the Rams and Seahawks over there doing their thing. So, we'll see. I think it'd be interesting with the Seahawks, with Sam Darnold. I think that would be an epic story right there. Kind of, a journeyman that kind of turned his opportunity into something more stable and then switched teams and won. I think that'd be a cool story. I'm looking for the stories. As a player, someone's gonna win. I think that's a good story to come out of it.
I love it. No, I'm a Seahawks fan. Lifelong Seahawks guy, Seattle guy. So obviously that's where I'm leaning. I'm hoping the Seahawks do it. I am curious, obviously, as a NFL running back, one with an incredible career. When you watch the Seahawks play defense, this is a biased question. Maybe other people don't care, but when you watch a team like that play, especially, I don't know if you saw that San Francisco game recently. What are your thoughts? Again, with your experience, how do you see that?
Yeah, watching a good defense is pretty boring because people are in the right spots. They're in their gaps. They're not getting pushed off the ball. There's not a lot of place to go. So they almost make it seem like it's easy. It's like, you just be right here. Like, play man to man. Third down, right? Stick to a guy and knock the ball down. It makes it seem easy when it's actually extremely hard to play high-level defense for as long as they've been doing it this year. So when I watch it, it's admirable for sure because it takes all the grit, but you have to have the right guys to be able to do it. Coming together with the right scheme, like timing is everything when it comes to putting a good defense together. Injuries play a part of that as well. You got to have people that are in those spots that can get those jobs done at a high level. And then once you start meshing like that and the chemistry comes together, it's a thing of beauty. Sucks to watch. It sucks to go against as a running back because typically here's what happens when I go against a good defense. There's nothing open downfield, but they're baiting me in the flats. Hey, here's a check down in the flats. now I got a 2v1 in the flats that I got to go try to make something happen on like 3rd and 7. It's like, this is not great odds. So it's extremely annoying to go against, but hey, if you got one, you love it on your side.
I love it. How about this one? Philip Rivers, these coming back for a few games. What were your thoughts on that?
Man, I was rooting for him so hard just to get one win. But no, even though he didn't get a win, I was super proud of him. Still am super proud of him. I thought in my head, if anyone can come back with a play style and play, it's Philip Rivers' play style. You know, he's going to sit in the pocket. He's going to protect himself with his knowledge of the game, putting people in the right spot. You saw him being the field general out there. You go here, you got this, doing all the checks. He still has old cadence. Like, that was cool to watch for me as a player that's played with him for 3 years. Like, I'm listening to his cadence. I won't give away his secrets, but I'm like, I have all the reminiscences coming back of playing with him. So, and then also Shane Steichen, their head coach, was my offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, while I was with the Chargers a few years. So the group was getting back together and I was rooting for them. But that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think from a fan perspective, people really loved seeing it, and his legacy definitely enhanced with that return. You're going to see just all the fun things people liked about his personality and his grit and his drive to win is pretty awesome. So wishing him the best of luck. Obviously, I can't wait to see what happens with you this year. Hopefully you can put it all together, get back out there. But everything you're doing, again, in the fantasy industry is fantastic. I can't wait to see where this goes the next couple of years and into the next decade. It's going to be fun seeing everything you do. Definitely going to cheer that on all the way. Is there anything final you want to say about this bracket? How do we get people involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely. Royale? So we'll end with that. So if you're interested in filling out a bracket, again, completely free. I don't want your money. Save your money. That's why we're doing this. But you can sign up at fantasyroyale.fun. It's a website, so you can go check it out, and you'll see my AI big buff guy up on there. You can click play now and it'll take you right to where you need to go. You can start filling out some brackets. And if you do, I hope you win something. Good luck. And if you don't win something, we'll be back for more in the future, whether it's basketball, baseball, and then obviously football again next year.
That's awesome. Well, Austin, official friend of the show. It was awesome having you back on here. Can't wait to see how the playoff bracket Royale turns out. And I can't wait to see what's next for you moving forward. And I wish you all the best in 2026 and beyond.
Likewise, my friend. Appreciate you having me on again.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Football Unlimited podcast. Until next time, be sure to follow and subscribe to all of FFU's social media accounts for daily content.